We're doing something really cool. We're reverse engineering the absolute ultimate blueprint for a premium cybersecurity masterclass, specifically focusing on the types of hackers. If you've ever sat there and wondered, how exactly do top-tier curriculums take someone from zero all the way to an industry-ready hacker hunter, well, you are definitely in the right place. We're going to unpack the exact requirements, the deep expertise needed, and the intense, rigorous flow dictated by this source material. Let's get right into it.
Right out of the gate, we hit the absolute golden rule of this entire curriculum. And honestly, it's a tough one. The directive is explicitly clear. Take these highly complex, intensely technical hacker profiles and distill them down into very simple English. The goal? Making sure that both absolute beginners and seasoned pros can grasp the concepts without getting lost. Now, anyone in tech knows this is literally the hardest part of technical education. It's like trying to translate a really complex foreign language. You have to strip away all that intimidating jargon, things like malware analysis or cloud security architecture, without actually losing the core technical truth. That's the non-negotiable baseline for this masterclass.
So here's our roadmap for today's explainer. First, meet the master instructor. Second, from theory to live labs. Third, workflow and industry certifications. Fourth, freelancing, salary, and careers. Fifth, AI tools and future scope. And finally, number 6, the ultimate final assessment.
All right, starting off with Section 1, Meet the Master Instructor.
This blueprint demands an instructor who wears an absolutely insane number of hats. Seriously, we aren't just talking about your average, everyday IT professional here. The source material spells out that the teacher must simultaneously be an ethical hacker and a SOC analyst, meaning they're the ones actively monitoring and defending networks in a security operations center. But wait, there's more. They also need to be a penetration tester, a digital forensics expert, a cloud security architect, and a malware analyst. Just think about that for a second. To actually teach the types of hackers effectively, this curriculum requires someone who has actively defended against them, investigated their digital tracks, and ethically replicated their attacks across both cloud and local environments. It's a massive order.
And to back all of that up, the instructor must bring over 20 years of hard-fought, in-the-trenches industry experience to the table. This is absolutely crucial to ensure that every single lesson, every anecdote, and every piece of theory is steeped in reality. I mean, 2 decades in cybersecurity, that means this instructor has literally watched the evolution of hackers, going from early internet script kiddies all the way to highly organized, state-sponsored advanced persistent threats. You know, the kind of hackers that just quietly live inside a company's network for months on end. It's exactly this deep well of experience that guarantees the content isn't just theoretical fluff, it's battle-tested knowledge.
Moving right along to Section 2, From Theory to Live Labs.
So how is all this elite knowledge actually transferred to the student? Well, the curriculum forces a rigorous 4-step evolution. It kicks off with Step 1, delivering complete theory to build that solid foundation. But it doesn't just leave you staring at a wall of text. It immediately flows into Step 2, utilizing visual explanations alongside text-formatted diagrams to really map out the concepts, which is huge for visual learners. Once you can picture it in your head, we move to Step 3, a practical demonstration where the instructor actually shows you the concepts in action. And finally, it culminates in Step 4, a hands-on live lab using real-world examples. This matters so much because in cyber, you simply don't learn by memorizing flashcards. You learn by building muscle memory. You absolutely have to see how these profiles operate in a live, breathing environment.
Next up, Section 3, Workflow and Industry Certifications.
Now this is where it gets really practical. The blueprint maps its lessons to a serious alphabet soup of elite industry certifications. We're talking foundational exams like CompTIA's Security Plus and the Certified Ethical Hacker exam, all the way up to highly advanced, notoriously brutal practical tests like the OSCP and PNPT, plus those top-tier management-level goals like the CISSP. By intentionally tying the profiles of different hackers to the exact knowledge domains of these massive industry certifications, the masterclass essentially guarantees high professional value for the student.
It also does something I absolutely love. It systematically contrasts industry best practices and real professional workflows directly against the common mistakes that beginners make. It's such a fantastic instructional design choice, you know? By showing what a seasoned pro does, the proper, safe workflow, and then immediately contrasting it with the catastrophic mistakes a novice usually makes, the curriculum rapidly accelerates the learning curve. You see the right way, you see the wrong way, and it clicks. And all of this is paired with specific, actionable security tips that students can implement immediately to, stop breaking things.
That brings us to Section 4, Freelancing, Salary, and Careers.
Here, the instructor is tasked with breaking down the actual market, by contrasting the independent freelancer perspective with concrete client project examples. This is all about showing real-world application. Because let's be real, it's one thing to understand the technical profile of a black hat hacker, but do you actually know how to scope a freelance penetration testing project to protect a client from one? That's a whole different ballgame. The blueprint demands that the masterclass bridges this exact gap, clearly showing students what client deliverables actually look like out there in the real world.
And to ensure students are truly job-ready, the blueprint demands explicit coverage of 3 absolutely key career elements. First up, transparent salary information. It's so important to set realistic expectations for different roles. Second, specific interview questions. I mean, imagine having a 20-year veteran feed you the exact questions hiring managers are going to ask you about hacker types and attack vectors. Talk about a cheat code. And third, a comprehensive career roadmap to guide their next steps. This totally takes the guesswork out of how to progress from a beginner to a highly paid professional.
Let's dive into Section 5, AI Tools and Future Scope.
In this part, students are required to understand exactly how AI tools intersect with hacker profiles, because AI allows attacks to happen at unprecedented speed and scale, right? The curriculum explicitly requires moving way beyond legacy textbook attacks and looking at what is happening in the wild today. By analyzing the overarching future scope of the industry, the masterclass ensures that students aren't just learning yesterday's news, they're getting mentally and technically prepared for the AI-driven threats of tomorrow.
And finally, Section 6, the ultimate final assessment.
Immediately following the lesson, students are hit with a massive 20-question quiz. And let me tell you, this isn't some simple true or false check-in. It's designed to rigorously test retention of the specific hacker types, workflows, and security tips they've just absorbed. Seriously, ask yourself, how well would you do right now testing your retention of everything we've just covered?
But the quiz isn't the end, not even close. The blueprint demands a whole cascade of practical work. The student is forced to consult provided references to complete homework, tackle a targeted mini-project, and ultimately synthesize everything into a full-blown project. This is exactly how you build that real muscle memory we talked about earlier. You don't just watch an instructor, you prove you can do it yourself through guided, escalating challenges.
So after reverse engineering this exhausting, comprehensive, and honestly brilliantly structured course blueprint, we can see exactly what it takes to build a world-class cybersecurity curriculum. From a 20-year veteran instructor to live labs, heavy-hitting industry certs, and a massive final project, this is a true gauntlet of knowledge. The only question left as you look at this educational architecture is, do you have what it takes to step into the live lab and survive it?